Councillor Banwait, thank you so much for finding time to speak to us. What brings you to MIPIM?
Well, as leader of Derby City Council, I'm leading a public-private sector partnership to talk to investors, talk to property developers about our 15-year vision, and that's something I personally contributed since I've been leader of the council since June. Is a 15-year vision, a plan for Derby, and we want to deliver that, and we're ambitious to deliver that, but we need help to do that. So the private sector is a great deal of expertise there, money in the private sector as well. At a time of austerity, we've got to be creative, innovative, but I'm ambitious for Derby, and we mustn't let tough times prevent us from fulfilling that ambition. So this is a great place to come, and Cannes has developed a reputation for a long time now. This is a place where political leaders come to with their ideas, with their plans, with their visions, about the what. And this is a great place to talk about the how. And an essential part of the how is talking to property developers.
Sure. Private sector, what specifically are you targeting in terms of private sector? What kind of investors are you looking for?
Well, we've got a number of sites in the city centre of Derby, which we are very keen to develop, and some of that's come about as frustrated opportunities over a number of years, but some of them have come by accident. So one of our sites, the Assembly Rooms, 40 years as a place for an entertainment venue, for leisure, for culture. We had a fire there a couple of years ago, and we've got that, and that's presented an opportunity. So rather than see it as a negative, we've seen that, well, this is an opportunity now to do something on that site. So we're here today to promote that site and say to the private sector, you've got prime real estate land right in the heart of the city centre, with fantastic offer around that. A great deal of investment's already gone into the city centre to improve, the opportunities and the offer in the city centre, and come and have a look at us and come forward with ideas. And I've used the phrase that there's no politics in the city centre, and what I mean by that as a politician is that we're not going to getting too involved in terms of political constraints about what we want. It's got to be right for Derby. And for the last year, since the fire at the Assembly Rooms site, we've been talking to our local business community, the people who've got a vested interest in the city centre, talking to the residents of Derby, and looking wider than that, because you can't work and think about a vision in isolation. It's got to be part of a regional offer, but also importantly, it's got to work to the strengths of what we've already got. And it's worth recognising that in spite of tough financial times, £2 billion worth of construction projects went into Derby in the 1990s and the early part of this century, and that's a fantastic foundation to build upon. And we've also got great employers in and around Derby. We've got Rolls-Royce, we've got their aerospace headquarters in Derby, a fantastic heritage for Derby to be proud of. We've also got Bombardier, the only train manufacturer in Britain. We've also got the largest car manufacturer, Toyota, around Derby. So we've got fantastic to be, employers to be proud of. But it's not just about them. The other strength we've got to present to developers is a fantastic, a prosperous SME market that supports those major employers, and also contribute hugely to the local economy. And recently, Rolls-Royce have announced that they'll be investing and updating their heritage site, the aerospace campus, into a modern facility, and that's a huge endorsement. That's an endorsement about all the great things that have gone on in Derby over the last couple of decades, recognising that they can attract the greatest and the best talent from around the world to come to Derby.
Companies actually grow in Derby. If you could talk a little bit about what Derby actually is for those viewers that don't necessarily know the UK very well, if you could tell us where Derby is on the map, the size of the city.
Well, Derby is in the Midlands part of the country. It's very much at the heart of England. It's got a phenomenal heritage. It was the site of the first factory in the world. The Silk Mill Museum, it's recognised as a World Heritage Site.
That's where the
now.
Industrial Revolution
Absolutely,
started.
the Industrial Revolution started in Derby, and it was absolutely at the heart of what made Britain great. Because of its central location, that's where the Industrial Revolution began. That's where the original canal system that imported and exported goods around the country, that was the heart of that. It then evolved into the centre for railway transport, again playing an absolutely vital part of the growth of Britain into becoming a great country, and that heritage has continued. That's the history of it, but the future looks extremely promising, and we're working to our strengths, and the fact that we've got major employers basing themselves in and around Derby, Rolls-Royce, Bombardier, and Toyota. That's a huge endorsement for Derby. But I've got a responsibility now as leader of the council to make sure that the offer is excellent for people wanting to live and work in and around Derby. So that means quality housing. That means a good leisure and culture offer, so that after a hard day in the office, that people can go out and spend money in the local economy, and make sure that the Derby continues to flourish and prosper.
Mm-hmm. Sure. And despite all these big industries, Derby isn't the biggest city. How many residents does Derby have?
Well, what attracts big employers to Derby and investors to Derby is it's a very compact city. And as a result, we don't have some of the complicated problems of some of our neighbours in terms of congestion and traffic management issues. Derby has evolved from a market town. It's very much a strong city now, and an economic powerhouse in the East Midlands region. Population is about 250,000, but it's growing. It's growing in recognition of the fact that Derby is a great destination for people to come and work in the local industries. It's got excellent housing. It's a growth city with excellent links to the region, with a local with an airport, the East Midlands Airport, quite nearby.
Mm-hmm. When you come to MIPIM, you can see a lot of big cities here at the venue. Do you feel that MIPIM is a chance for smaller cities such as Derby to promote themselves, or is it a place for the big guys?
Well, I think it's an excellent opportunity for all cities to come. A lot of work's gone on prior to coming here. This is a venue where which has developed a tradition for getting cities together with property developers. But actually, outside of this meeting, Derby has forged very strong links and relationships with our neighbours. To the north, Derbyshire County Council; to the east, Nottingham City Council, and the districts. So we're already operating as an economic powerhouse and working collaboratively, and that's absolutely vital. We continue to do that. The relationship that I've personally developed since becoming leader of the council with neighbouring leaders is absolutely vital. If we're going to compete on the world stage, we've got to look outward. We can't be insular, and we've got to just put some of our competitive streak and maybe confine it just to the football. But when it certainly comes to business, and it comes to economics, and it comes to being prosperous, businesses don't recognise boundaries, and we've got to look beyond that ourselves.
Councillor, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck here at MIPIM. Thank you very much.